When filmmakers leave little Easter eggs in their movies, it's awesome. Usually they're there just for the crew members' satisfaction, but these days they're there for the fans too. So let's go back to where Mad Movie fandom really started and go through all the Star Wars original trilogy Easter eggs. At least, all the ones I could find. A New Hope is a bit light on Easter eggs, but it does have lots of treats for eagle-eyed viewers. For instance, when the Tusken Raiders are looking at the Sandspeeder, there are some carvings on the rock behind them. These might be ancient carvings, but actually they're more likely to be marks made by the film crew during setup to note where the actors and props will be on screen. Moving on to the cantina scene, and you can see that the distillery parts were recycled in episode 5 as Bounty Hunter IG-88's head. And over here you can also see this alien is an extra in an astronaut uniform. Later in this shot you can see him again with another bloke in an astronaut outfit. You can see the costume department just covered the United States flag on his arm with a black patch. Also, out of focus in the background of this shot you can see a red-eyed wolf alien, whose name is actually Lak Sivrak. He had a couple of close-ups in the original 1977 version of the film, but George Lucas cut him out of the special edition and replaced him with Ketwal, an elephant. Here's an interesting observation for you. This is the only time a lightsaber doesn't immediately cauterize a limb that it amputates in the series. It's also one of the few times we see blood in the trilogy. Luke has a bit of blood on his face after the Wampa attack, and the Wampa is enjoying some rare meat and then leaking a little red stuff himself. Zev Sineska also bleeds shortly before dying in the Battle of Hoth. I don't think there's any blood in Return of the Jedi. Also appearing for one time only is a pair of gold-plated dice in the Millennium Falcon. They just disappear for the rest of the film and the series. Still on the Millennium Falcon, and in the training droid scene, Luke's, or Anakin's, lightsaber is white for a couple of shots. In 1977 it was white for the entire scene, but George went back and fixed it for the 2011 Blu-rays, except not in every shot. At least it's not green like in the 2004 DVDs. Fast forward to the Death Star, and Luke says Chewie is being transferred from Cell Block 1138.
Prisoner transfer from Cell Block 1138?
A reference to George Lucas's first film, THX 1138. There's another reference to it in this scene on the screen behind C-3PO and R2-D2. You can barely make it out, but it's there. Then we have this famous moment where this stormtrooper bangs his head on the door. George Lucas even added in a sound effect for it in the special edition. And of course we have the Wilhelm scream! Sound designer Ben Burt named it after a character called Wilhelm who screams it in 1953's The Charge at Feather River, but it's actually the voice of actor Sheb Woolley from the film Distant Drums from 1951. Now, The Empire Strikes Back has a blink-and-you'll-miss-it cameo from Ralph or Rafe McQuarrie, the man who defined the entire look of Star Wars. At the very least, he designed Chewbacca, R2-D2, C-3PO, Darth Vader, and most of the vehicles. That's why he's holding a sketchpad. Clever, that. There's also a cameo from Jeremy Bulloch, who plays Boba Fett. Not that you can hear his voice anymore in the special editions. He's the one using Leia as a human shield because evil. And that is Rebel Officer Major Derlin, played by John Ratzenberger. His voice is dubbed in this film, otherwise you'd easily recognize the voice of Ham from Toy Story. Here's a THX 1138 reference.
Send roads 10 and 11 to Station 38.
And we get 2 Wilhelm screams. In the chase through the asteroid field, all the asteroids in the background are potatoes, and this asteroid is sculpted around a tennis shoe. In the same sequence, if you pause and play through the TIE Fighter crash frame by frame, you can see the pilot fly out in flames and fall apart. Cool. And that extra is carrying an ice cream maker. Except his name is Wilro Hood. Not the actor's name, the character's name is Wilro Hood. He's got a backstory and everything. The ice cream maker is supposed to be a computer's memory core with details of his contacts in the Rebel Alliance. You can even get an action figure of him. Oh, Star Wars. And is it just me, or is that Mickey Mouse? In Return of the Jedi, there's a great cameo from sound designer Ben Burt. There he is. And that sound he makes is actually him doing a great impression of Wilhelm scream. It's not a stock sound. I wouldn't mind being killed by Han Solo on screen. Just saying.
Sorry about the mess.
Speaking of the Wilhelm scream, there are a few in this film. But you do have to listen really carefully for this one at the end from the Stormtrooper. There is a reference to 1138 in Episode 6, but you can't see it. It's written on the side of Leia's Bouche helmet. But this is the only shot I could find where you can see that side of her helmet, and frankly the light isn't good enough to actually make it out. But you can see that the A-wing that crashes into the set of the Superstar Destroyer's bridge is really a car chassis. And while they're far from deliberate Easter eggs, you can totally see Harrison Ford copping a feel and Ula's boob slipping out. Sharing this knowledge with you for science! So, those are all the Star Wars original trilogy Easter eggs I could find. Which is your favourite? Please tell me in the comments, and stay tuned to this channel for more movie Easter egg deliciousness. But if you can't wait, then click right here for Libby's countdown of that's right, every Toy Story Easter egg. She went insane making it. Do her a favour. Go watch it. See you next time.